As more area school districts drop mask mandates, we'll hear from a local expert about whether they're necessary for unvaccinated students.
Why wasn't law enforcement better prepared for the January 6th assault on the U.S. Capitol? I'm Natalie Brand with the key findings of a new bipartisan Senate report.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
As vaccine trials get underway for children younger than 12 years old, one question is whether students who are not vaccinated should still be required to wear masks. This is KOAM News at 5. School districts in our area have dropped mask mandates in favor of voluntary masking for students. Donna Stokes with Mercy Hospital says there's a delicate balance between student safety and their mental and social health.
What the research is showing us is that in those age groups, yes, they can get COVID. The illness seems to be less severe with less severe complications.
Tonight at 6, we're going to hear more from Stokes as well as the superintendent of Carthage schools. An organization announces plans to showcase some Southeast Kansas counties next year. Big Kansas Road Trip is an annual event that chooses 3 Kansas counties near each other and works with local community and business leaders to showcase what they're all about. Today, the organization announced next year's event will focus on Bourbon, Cherokee, and Crawford counties. Officials say they want people to see these counties as they truly are.
The best ways to help sustain communities across the state is to invite the public into them, to understand them, to get to know them, to realize that Kansas is not dull and boring, that we have some great assets. We can have fun in Kansas.
Next year's event will take place from May 5th to the 8th. Checking in with Nick Kelly now, a bit of a mix in the weather today.
Absolutely, kind of a repeat of yesterday, Dow. Some of us picking up some heavy downpours of rain, others like Joplin staying mainly dry for the most part, while distant clouds continue to build up. That's actually picking up on a heavy shower, maybe a little thunderstorm east of Lamar and eastern parts of Barton County. There are a couple of other widely scattered showers up there, including a random rumble of thunder, but all these are behaving, nothing severe. I don't expect that as we go through the rest of the evening to start things out. Any big severe weather again staying well to the south as our main storm system continues to spin across the St. Louis area. Despite all of that, it was quite warm for some of you. 85 in the Neosho, a little cooler in Pittsburgh at 79, but most of us lower to middle 80s at the top of the hour. Not looking too bad, but we'll fall through the 70s once we get past sunset, down into the upper 60s for tonight. I think we're dry for the overnight, Dow, but the warming trend will definitely continue later on this week. We'll break down the numbers here in a bit.
All right, we'll see you then. Thanks, Nick. Vice President Kamala Harris is in Mexico City today for a meeting with the President of Mexico. The two are looking to build on a virtual meeting last month to expand cooperation between the two countries, tackling the root causes of migration from Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. In Guatemala yesterday, Harris warned would-be illegal immigrants should not come to the U.S. There is a new bipartisan report from the Senate out today saying law enforcement should have been better prepared for the January 6th assault on the U.S. Capitol. And it identified security and intelligence failures surrounding the attack. Natalie Brand has more details from the White House.
A new Senate report says Capitol Intelligence saw social media posts as far back as December about a plot to breach the Capitol, including maps of the buildings and tunnels and threats of violence against members of Congress. But it adds that the Capitol Police Force's Intelligence Division did not convey the full scope of known information to USCP leadership, rank-and-file officers, or law enforcement partners.
Part of the reason it was overlooked is people were saying, well, this just can't happen. And these groups of folks, they can't do that. Well, now we know they can.
The more than 100-page document was the result of a joint investigation by the Senate Homeland Security and Rules Committees. The Democratic and Republican leaders sat down with CBS News.
What was the most surprising breakdown or failure that you learned about through this investigation?
The intelligence failure.
How long it took the Defense Department to respond.
There just wasn't a plan ahead of time.
The report mentions former President Trump's speech to his supporters the morning of January 6th, but it does not dig into specific root causes of the attack.
Our job was not to go back and talk about what happened in terms of the motivation. It was about, okay, once it happened, what did we do here in the Capitol and how could this have happened?
In a response, U.S. Capitol Police said in part it welcomes the analysis and agrees improvements are needed specific to intelligence analysis and dissemination. However, it insisted that at no point prior to the 6th did it receive actionable intelligence about a large-scale attack. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
The bipartisan report recommended more than 20 changes, including appointing a new police chief and giving him or her more authority to prepare for major events. It also calls for bolstering training, improving communication between law enforcement agencies as well as across federal, state, and local governments. The FBI teamed up with authorities around the world to take down hundreds of criminals by tricking them into using a messaging app secretly run by law enforcement. Police arrested more than 800 suspects across the U.S., Europe, and Australia and recovered hundreds of tons of cocaine, 250 guns, dozens of luxury cars, and $148 million in cash. Still ahead, testimony on Capitol Hill.
Could the Colonial Pipeline ransomware attack that left hundreds of gas stations dry have been avoided? I'm Deborah Alferone on Capitol Hill, where the CEO faced tough questions from lawmakers.
And next in Health Watch, some surprising ways you could be damaging your teeth. Diet could play a role in how sick a person gets from COVID-19. New findings in the British Medical Journal show people with plant-based or fish-based diets are up to 73% less likely to experience severe symptoms. Doctors believe the nutrients found in vegetables and healthy fish help boost a person's immune system. You brush, floss, get your twice-a-year cleanings, and avoid sweets, but you could be damaging your teeth in ways that might surprise you. We've all heard this before.
We should all brush a minimum of twice a day in the morning and the evening, if not an additional 1 or 2 times during the course of the day.
But with all the brushing, flossing, and rinsing we do to protect our teeth, one culprit behind tooth damage could be your toothbrush. Dentists estimate 10 to 20% of people have damaged their teeth or gums as a result of overbrushing.
We always advise people to use soft toothbrushes, and that's mainly because of gum tissue. We don't want people to brush too hard and cause recession of gum tissue.
Brushing too hard or using the wrong toothbrush can also cause tooth sensitivity and wear down your enamel. Another thing that can damage your teeth is overeating. Eating large meals can cause gastroesophageal reflux, and the built-up acid can lead to tooth erosion. Too much alcohol causes dehydration and dry mouth, leading to tooth decay and oral infections. And gummy vitamins may be a great way to get kids to take their vitamins, but most are made with citric acid and sugar, which can eat away at tooth enamel. Dentists say tooth enamel is the strongest substance in the human body, but chewing ice can cause serious damage. It wears down tooth enamel, destroys braces and retainers, chips or cracks teeth, and even damages your dental fillings. Not listening to your body clock could lead to higher rates of depression. A new study shows people whose sleep patterns vary tend to have poorer mental health, reporting both anxiety and depression. British researchers call the symptoms social jet lag. Night owls appear to be more impacted than early risers. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, what tech experts say is behind a morning outage of many popular websites.
Plus, our warming trend will definitely continue, especially as we hit the weekend. Forecast it next.
DollarCity.com.
We stayed warm once again today, but like the past several days, once we had enough warmth and humidity build up throughout the course of the afternoon, Definitely saw another wide scattering of showers, even a couple of thunderstorms. Fortunately, nothing strong, nothing severe. We definitely were not worried about that for today. But after everybody had a quiet start this morning, once we hit the afternoon, right away, we started to see that scattering of showers and a couple of thunderstorms. The prevalent echoes are mainly to the north of US 400, north of 160. And again, very spotty on the Kansas side. But you go over to southwestern Missouri, around Nevada and Lamar, we do have some heavier echoes suggesting moderate to heavy pockets of rain, including a few lightning bolts with the cells sitting just to the east of Lamar. But again, all these are doing moderate to heavy rainfall at its strongest, nothing severe expected. But the warming trend definitely continues, that is for sure. Lower 80s at the very least yesterday, upper 60s this morning, and so far 85 degrees is the warmest we've been at Joplin Regional, despite all these partly sunny skies and the scattered rain and storms around. I'm pretty much sure overall Joplin stayed mainly dry throughout the course of the day. 85, but it feels like 89 with that dew point sitting close to 70 degrees and the light breeze at about 5 miles per hour. Underneath the clouds and any rainfall, you're in the upper 70s to near 80, but everyone else mainly in the mid 80s at the top of the 5 o'clock hour. But you factor in that humidity, we got to start showing these numbers again. It feels like 92 in Chanute, 90 in Columbus, 89 in Anderson. So definitely a bit muggy out there to start the evening out, but like the past few nights, once we get past sunset, our rain chances are pretty much done for the rest of the night. We'll continue to fall through the 80s, 70s, down to about 69 for overnight lows tonight. Looking at the wider view of things shows that at least we're not alone in dealing with these thunderstorm chances. Fortunately, we're not dealing with any of these strong to severe storms working across parts of the deep south. The surface map doesn't show a lot for us, really. This frontal system has been stuck to our north and west for the past several days. It might try to make a play in our weather by Sunday and Monday of next week, but overall, our weather setup still being influenced by the upper levels. This upper low keeping some scattered showers and storms in play tonight, but eventually this building upper level ridge in Mexico, that's going to really start to bring in an early taste of summer heat and humidity as we go through the next several days. Well, again, once we get past sunset, any rain chances we have will be pretty much gone. Dry to start the morning out, but like the past few days, once we hit the afternoon, I'm not going to be surprised if we see a few isolated showers or storms in the afternoon. 69 in the morning, but definitely warmer tomorrow. 83 by noon, afternoon highs around 88. Let's just do it again for Thursday. A quiet start in the morning, lows near 70. Then, not quite lower 90s yet, but I'm going to hold Thursday about 89 degrees. Definitely as this upper level ridge builds in, we're going to see highs pushing in the lower 90s on Friday. But along the jet stream, we could see maybe a complex of storms or two try to come at us Friday and possibly Saturday. But once we get past that, in general, this upper level ridge that will keep us dry for Sunday and Monday, and hot and humid too. 88 tomorrow, 89 Thursday, near 90 Friday and Saturday, and lower 90s. Definitely looking at a hot and kind of humid stretch for next Sunday and Monday, Dow.
Yeah, humid or not, once you hit 90, it is definitely hot out there. Thanks, Nick. Coming up, Colonial Pipeline executives testify in front of Congress about the recent ransomware attack on their system. First, though, we honor a local veteran. Arthur Plain served in the U.S. Army in 1968 and 69. The Nevada, Missouri native was stationed in Vietnam, and we salute Sergeant First Class Arthur Plain, a four-state hero. Hundreds of social media, news, and government websites are coming back online after worldwide outages this morning. Early risers looking to open affected sites were greeted with an error 503 message. Tech experts linked the glitch to a U.S. internet provider company called Fastly. Experts do not believe hackers triggered the outage, but they say today's trouble highlights just how many major websites rely on big tech to distribute content and just how vulnerable our access is. Fastly says, quote, "The issue has been identified and a fix has been applied. Customers may experience increased origin load as global services return." Millions of tax refunds are en route. The IRS just sent out 2.8 million refunds to taxpayers all across our country. These refunds are tied to the pandemic rescue package. It shields unemployment income up to $10,200 for single filers from being taxed. So people who filed their taxes ahead of the law being enacted could have overpaid and would be due a refund. The CEO of Colonial Pipeline apologized today during a Senate committee hearing looking into the ransom attack that forced the temporary shutdown of one of our nation's largest fuel pipelines last month. Reporter Deborah Alfarone has the latest from Capitol Hill.
The head of Colonial Pipeline says paying a ransom to get control back of the company's computer system following last month's cyber attack was the hardest decision he's made in his career.
We wanted to stay focused on getting the pipeline back up and running. I believe with all my heart it was the right choice to make.
The ransomware attack crippled one of the country's biggest gas pipelines and led to fuel shortages. CEO Joseph Blount testified hackers exploited a virtual private network that was not supposed to be in use.
We are deeply sorry for the impact that this attack had.
Some lawmakers questioned the wisdom of paying the Russian-based hackers known as DarkSide.
The FBI and other federal agencies strongly discourage paying ransom because it incentivizes more people to become cyber criminals.
Blount told senators Colonial was in the process of scheduling a cybersecurity review with the TSA when the pandemic and other issues got in the way.
Do you regret not doing that in retrospect?
Senator, anything that you could do is always helpful.
Colonial's CEO also testified that the company's quick and quiet collaboration with law enforcement may have helped the Justice Department get back a large chunk of that ransom money. Newly released court documents show investigators used digital fingerprints to track those funds to an online wallet for DarkSide. The FBI then obtained the wallet's private key to recover about $2.3 million. About $2 million has yet to be recovered. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The FBI is still investigating more than 100 types of ransomware attacks, including last week's attack on meat distributor JBS. President Biden is expected to discuss the recent hacks with the Russian President Vladimir Putin when they meet this month. Airlines are calling on government officials to lift transatlantic travel restrictions. The heads of American Airlines, British Airways, Delta, and United asked officials in Britain and the U.S. to remove restrictions hamstringing travel between the nations. Currently, most U.S. travelers visiting the U.K. must quarantine for 10 days. Amazon is launching a new technology today that the company says will enhance the performance of some devices. But it also uses the Wi-Fi within millions of American homes, and that has some privacy advocates concerned. The service, called Sidewalk Bridge, takes a small sliver of Wi-Fi at homes with certain Amazon products to create a shared network within neighborhoods. People who want to opt out of the shared network can go into their Ring or Amazon app and turn it off. Final check of the forecast next. The CBS Evening News is next. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to hear from an area school district about the necessity of mask mandates for unvaccinated students. Plus, the Oklahoma State Department of Health deploys mobile wellness units statewide to help administer COVID-19 vaccines. And some of the nation's top clay shooters meet in Columbus, Kansas for a competition. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. The Aurora Borealis, or Northern Lights, could be described as Earth's greatest light show. The mystery surrounding what causes the phenomenon has been speculated but never proven until now. A group of physicists from the University of Iowa have finally proven that the auroras are produced by powerful electromagnetic waves during geomagnetic storms. The study proves a 1946 theory that these phenomena, also known as Alfvén waves, accelerate electrons toward Earth, causing the particles to produce the light show that we know as the Northern Lights.
I need to venture up north at some point. That has to be just amazing in person to see.
I've never seen it myself, but I would love to as well. The weather, mixed bag ahead.
Yeah, maybe some isolated storms again tomorrow afternoon and Thursday. Scattered storms Friday and Saturday, but despite these rain chances trying to hold on, our warming trend continues. 88 tomorrow, pushing near 90 Thursday and Friday.
See you at 6. Let's take care of ourselves and each other and make it a great evening.